the young, cool, trendy thing. And then all of a sudden, I think I hit this like maturing point of turning 50 or going to turn 50. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm not young and cool and hip anymore.
You
Or never.
were
But I was young.
never. You are aging into your personality.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Aging into my personality. All right, we going?
Keep it
All right.
light. Keep it fun, please.
That's you don't have to do that. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Free Dive podcast. I'm Bill, owner of Sea Point and frequent person on the podcast, and I gotta kind of give the backstory on our guest today. So I have Jason White. Say good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
All right. So here's the backstory on Jason White as our guest today. Jason White is actually my brother-in-law. Yeah. And his wife, Christina, actually works for Sea Point as well, which later I'm going to do an episode on nepotism in the workplace just to round this all out. But Jason's had kind of an interesting relationship with Sea Point. At times, he's actually helped me. Early on in Sea Point, we were working on a contractor marketing program, so he was influential in trying to look at what do contractors need and how we can market better to those in the construction industry. And then Jason eventually just became a client. So, it's always good to take money from your relatives.
Always.
Always good. Jason actually is the owner of 3 businesses at this point in the greater Atlanta area. He owns Handy Jason. Does Handy Jason exist anymore?
The website's up.
Website's up.
We still bring work in from it. The company might exist in paper, but
It's all been kind of blended, right?
Yeah.
At this point?
Yeah.
Handy Jason started as a handyman service, again, in the northern Atlanta area, coming Lake Lanier, that area of Georgia. And that's where we first started engaging with Jason. We built the Handy Jason website. We did SEO. We did some PPC for Jason in that regard. Since then, you've become a partner of JCM Home Services.
Yep, half owner of JCM Home Services, which also owns Foco Cabinets, which is, so those two kind of build off each other, remodeling, and then just a cabinet store.
So that's the backstory. So you have an individual who's kind of connected to Sea Point, both being family to Sea Point, both in a literal sense, and then also, we think of our office as a family, a very dysfunctional family. But also as a client. And that's kind of why we're here today, or the topic of our discussion today is I thought it would be great to sit down with Jason as a small business owner and who's seen the evolution of his company. So, we mentioned Handy Jason at the onset. What year did you start Handy Jason?
I believe I landed on the name when I found the website, and I believe that was actually December 25th, 2012.
Wow. So 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Almost.
I'm living
13,
in the
yeah.
past. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it still 2020? No, it's not. It's almost 2026. We're getting really old.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. You've got a lot of gray in that beard.
A lot.
Yeah. So started in 2012, Handy Jason. And while we're talking nepotism here, right?
Yep.
You're working now with your brother-in-law,
Yep.
Jason Setti.
Oh, now, John.
John Setti.
John Setti.
Yes.
Yeah, so started with Handy Jason. We did well with that, in large part to the work we were able to have coming in from the website. I mean, that was where a lot of our work came from, obviously, repeat work and friends and family spreading the word. But I was really surprised at how much came in from the internet. It helps that contractors tend not to want to spend money there. on an intangible thing, and I was willing to with your insight, and so that gave me a good foothold. Um, and then from there, when John and I merged, I became part of JCM Home Services, and so that's taken off, and then Foco Cabinets also.
So how was it going from that transition? So I know you're still doing GCM as a major part of your business.
Mhm.
How was it as far as changing the mindset of a service-based company with JCM to a retail slash service with having a cabinet shop now?
I wouldn't say that I've completed that change. I'm definitely still trying to do both things. So the service side of it is definitely bigger right now. So that's what we're doing. That's what's keeping a roof over our heads, and the cabinet is the goal. Um, so it's not just what's happening, but what we're doing. Um, JCM Home Services is just kind of a blah name. It is. It's a little open. If the company changes directions, that's fine. Foco Cabinets, you're going, what is Foco? Well, that's very specific to our area. We live in Forsyth County.
Thank you. That was going to be my follow-up question is what
Yep.
does FOCO stand for?
The beginning of Forsyth and County. It's just a little kitschy phrase that they use locally. So yeah, it's much more targeted. It's much more community based, and that's what we're doing with that company. So we're less looking at like PPC stuff and more looking at brand awareness, just trying to get that name out there and getting more people aware of the business.
And so I do want to just back up a second. We can talk about FOCO in a moment and the cabinets and how that works. But I do want to kind of go back because, you know, you think about this transition, you've came from a background in surveying, drafting, I know that's what you went to college for. And, but I know you've always had a great love of construction and you're a high energy person. You love working with your hands, all those things. So, like that longevity of starting a company in any field, right? So I think the statistics is most companies fail within their first 3 years.
I have no idea.
Uh, Also, 75% of statistics are made up. I don't
At
know
least.
if you were aware of that as well.
Yeah, I try not to look at how quickly it's going to fail.
Right. But it is true. Like the majority of companies don't gain that momentum. And so, I thought that was a nice idea to have you on the podcast because you're involved in three different companies that have all been successful. And even like the Handy Jason, it's not that Handy Jason failed and you went into JCM. It was a strategic decision in order to e-
Grow.
grow.
Yeah.
Growth. It was a growth decision.
Right.
So, you know, there's a lot of people out there, whether it's a service, maybe they want to start retail. We think about ourselves here at C Point. We've seen our agency evolve. We've been here about 16 years now. What do you look at? Like, what are the lessons if you could go back, see that young 20 something Jason White? Well, you probably weren't 20s because you're probably still in your 30s there 12 years ago. I don't want to give your age away because, just not played on a podcast. Like, what lessons would you tell yourself? Young, ambitious Jason White. Like, what are some of the big points? If you were talking to a young person who's like, I'm going to become a contractor, I'm going to be a builder, like, first of all, what were the points is like, you're like, wow, that was a really good decision I made early on?
That was a vague question.
Yes.
You gave me a few different directions I can go with. Um, for a business, so one, I was fortunate where I started my business. There was a lot of construction work. So that so some of this may not apply to somebody out in the middle of nowhere just eking by and not having the ability to do what I'm going to say next, which is set goals for your business. Um, it makes sense to love what you do. So sometimes you might be able to say, "Hey, I prefer this line of work," and that's no matter your business, you're going to get a wide range of what you're doing, and you're going to have the ability to focus it. You do that with C Digital. Obviously, there's the wide open internet, and then you've got ways that are more successful for you, and you can focus on that. For construction, it's the same thing. You can get calls for all kinds of different work, and you might need to focus on a specific couple of trades to specialize. You'll get calls in all locations, and again, you might have to be like, that doesn't fit my company goal. I need to say no to that. Um, and starting a business, that is extremely difficult to say, yes, that will help me. Yes, I can make money, but that's not within my company's goals. Having that confidence um, helps you be able to grow the business, not just in general, but in the direction you want. So have a business goal and do make the decisions to say no sometimes. I've seen because I've had friends in the business and they didn't do that. And at times they would take work that was too far away or that paid too low or wasn't what they were really good at because they felt like they had to because they were on a slump in work or they had a slow season or something. And then the good work came along and they couldn't get to it because they were stuck with something that didn't fit their company goals. So having those goals and sticking to them.
Yeah, I can completely relate to that because it's, at C Point, and there's been times where I've been very excited about projects. I think one of them that you were helping me with early on was I really wanted to make a marketing product for contractors. And boy, I sunk a lot of resources in trying to get that up and running.
Yes, we did.
We did. But, in the end, it wasn't something that was viable with our skill sets and reaching the right audience. And that was something we had to realize, like, you know what? Our focus on insurance companies, our focus on banks, um, has been far more effective than, again, where we may have had that affinity for a specific market, having to make that pivot.
Yeah. Yeah, that does go with it. You can't set an unrealistic goal and stick with it.
Yeah, but I think
You will have to adjust the goals.
and taking that time to really analyze and pivot. And
Mhm.
sometimes it takes honesty, right?
Definitely.
Because sometimes you might be like, oh, I want, like you might be like, I really want to pursue this type of work. And if it's just not, if your margins aren't good or it's not returning what you need it to return,
You got to pivot.
you got to pivot.
Yeah.
What's the most unhinged thing that's ever happened to you on a job site? You're like, that I can talk about without
I
the
had
lawyers involved.
someone that wanted to pray with me that the new roof shingles matched the old roof shingles.
Did it work?
I don't know. I said that doesn't align with my faith and I'm not going to do it.
Or did the shingles match?
I don't know
Oh.
because she fired me after that and I was okay with that.
Wow. That's wild.
That was an odd one. We're going to pray for the shingles. No, thank you. And then the next day, anybody that's not going to pray for my shingle color, I'm not going to work with. That's just
I
fine.
mean, Jesus was a carpenter, right?
Yet of all the prayers that I read for about Jesus, shingle color was not in there.
Yeah,
And
but
so I stand by my decision.
we don't know about his early carpentry skills. If he wasn't like talking to his father, going, "Make this dovetail work. Make this dovetail work."
Just
Okay. Well, now that we've gone into blasphemy for work blasphemy, um,
it had to happen.
it had to happen. Do you wear shoes and socks when you're at work, or is this just a podcast thing?
I do
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
One of my friends is a few years older than me, not a huge amount, but he loves to tell the story when he's like, "Jason, get off the roof in flip flops. You cannot nail shingles in flip flops." And I'm like, "There's just a couple left." That was quite a long time ago. So yes, now I do wear shoes on the job site.
Because that would have ruined your foot model
My foot modeling,
aspirations. Yeah, your foot
yes,
modeling
yes,
aspirations.
it would have.
Yeah. You can still dream, I can see, but yeah. All right. So while we have you here, Jason, and we're talking all things contractor and we're talking about business, but let's just pivot and talk about your actual expertise. What home trend do you want to see die as quickly as possible?
I don't mind trends.
But what if there was a
So
home trend you're just like, oh man, this is the worst, and people are going to regret seeing this in their house 5 years from now?
I
Or do you have to be cautious because you're going to put something in and
I don't get bothered by what people do in their house because it's not what I would do. They're still paying me to do it, so even if I don't like it, it's their vision. And here's the other thing with trends. See, as contractors, we like trends because then you're just when the trend goes away or a new one shows
they're,
up,
they're co- you're
you're just gonna pay me to come back and undo it or redo it. And so I like trends. I don't like wallpaper. I will say that. I don't like wallpaper.
is your
It
bedroom
has a
wallpaper?
that adds legitimacy to me not liking wallpaper.
Did you just do that because you love your wife?
Yes, that's why.
Did you
Nagging
just
had nothing to
I
do
was
with
about to say, did you
it.
just do that so you'd have more peace at home? Did you just do that because you know that you don't sleep in your own bedroom anymore?
You see, you also being married to a Moore
A
girl,
girl.
being married to my wife's twin, you already know the answers to all of those questions.
That is true. I would wallpaper my bedroom if
Do you? I'm not. I'm not going to ask you the same set of questions.
no. Um, I honestly thought this podcast would be more unhinged. We're just so well behaved this morning, and I don't know if it's just because we're filming this on a Monday morning and our caffeine intake has not hit maximum velocity yet.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe we're both being good and holding back. I don't know.
Maybe we're just growing,
Well, I've been
maturing.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this is what 50-year-old Bill's like. Next week. Yeah.
Is is it causing introspection for you?
It is.
I'm sorry.
I will say this, like, we're joking around about turning 50. Like, especially in the internet marketing world, and digital and all things technology.
Where's your oxygen?
Yeah. It's like the young, cool, trendy thing. And then all of a sudden, I think I hit this, like, maturing point of turning 50 or going to turn 50. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm not young and cool and hip anymore.
You
Or never hip,
were
but I was young.
never. You are aging into your personality.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Aging into my personality. So let me ask you this, Jason. Where do you see your audience and home services? All right. So if we have people listening that own a home service business, where do you see your audiences right now being influenced to make decisions?
Demand. I think a lot of contractors, a lot of remodelers follow what the demand is.
Right,
We
but I mean, like, where,
don't.
like, Susie Homemaker, like, I want to do a bathroom remodel.
Oh, I was
Oh,
going to get to that.
all right, all right.
We don't direct them.
Yeah.
They see stuff. They see stuff online. They see Pinterest. They watch HGTV. They
Yeah,
see
but how do
pictures of what their
I
friends
guess what I'm
do.
saying is how are they getting to JCM at this point versus
Oh, that is
Bob's?
not what I understood your question to be at all.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like
Okay.
where are you seeing people making their decision? Not like why are people getting double sync vanities because they saw it on Pinterest? I mean, why are people calling JCM versus calling somebody else?
So I'll be honest, one thing that I wish we had a better online presence of is Google reviews. We don't have a lot. We have some. They're mostly positive. Everybody has like the one negative. I think that's what we've got. I haven't looked recently. Um, but when people contact me, they regularly will say your reviews look really good because they do read that. And it's funny. John and I were just talking about this. I think 2 weeks ago that we've kind of gotten away from asking for reviews. Um, so I need to get that link again, and of course, trying to get signed in. You got to re-verify, and everything's a process online these days. Not your question.
Well, that's why it's so helpful when you get those 15 phone calls a day with people asking you about your Google listing.
Yeah, I answer every one of them. I
Yeah,
give them my social, my credit card, every
yep.
no. You need a reputable person, not a fake reputable person.
Right. I like messing with those people myself. And now for me, because like I get it right here at Sea Point, right? I get those same phone calls like 10 times a day, like the auto dialer, like your Google listing. We've been trying to reach you about your Google listing. And I answer every single one of those. Partly because I think that they get charged per phone call they get.
Oh,
It's like every time someone actually talks to them, I think they get like whoever's set the auto dialer, those
is
companies get
is that
charged
another
for.
statistic you made up?
Yeah, 100% another statistic. But I also figure like if I'm keeping a scammer occupied, that's one contractor who's not getting scammed. So I'm like, all right. And I love it because it's like I wait to see how many seconds before they hang up on me when they realize who I am and what I do for work. And I love it because it's they're like on the auto dialer that like they've obviously got a screen and they're looking up who this auto dialer is called and they're trying to be pleasant and like, did you know that we've been trying to reach you? Yeah, we're here to help you with your Google listing. And I hear them like as they're like, yeah, and then all of a sudden the phone like they don't even say like goodbye now. They just the phone
Oh
hangs
yeah,
up on, and I love that. Like,
yeah. I did a little bit of that while we were trying the business marketing for contractors, and I'd try the cold calls, and it did give me a little sympathy now when I get them because I get the auto dial far away, but then there's some more targeted people that they're like, "Hey," and they might be in the region
yeah.
and they're did a little research and they're calling, and it
Well, I
I
mean
do
that's
hate it for
different.
them because
Like,
it is like a terrible way to start, but that's what they have to do.
right.
I get it. But I do like listen to them for a minute and then I let them know, well, my brother-in-law does my digital stuff. He does a really good job. I'm not looking. And they're like, well, if you family, yeah, you're not going to step away from family. No, I'm not. All right, have a good day. So I'll get a hang up, but most of them that usually kind of cuts that conversation short.
They're like, if your family ever gets separated,
Right. They're looking for
yeah,
some separation in our family, and then I'll be
then they'll
retargeted.
swoop in. No, it's true. Like there is a difference, and for the podcast listeners out there as well, like there is a difference between the auto dialers and then
Right.
people that work in sales. And working in sales, that's got to be a demoralizing slog of
I,
especially like software sales. And yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of things I don't know how people do it, and
what's getting me is now the introduction of AI into that process. Because it used to be, all right, so like my email inbox, right? I get probably 5 emails a day asking me if I want to sell Point, and I probably get 10 emails a day of someone who wants to get me leads. and they all now. And in the past, I was like, it's lazy, but you sent me an email directly, and I realized it's just a copy and paste of, and maybe you just sprinkled in like hi Bill, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now with AI, it's even worse because it's like AI is like, hey, I saw you did this X, Y, and Z about, I saw this, I saw you had a really great success story with Berkshire Bank, for instance. And it's not that they actually read it. It's like they have an AI system that's now just scanning my website. And I'm
And
just like,
telling them what to say. Yeah.
yeah. And it's just writing the emails for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think in our business, oh, that's all right. But now the new Neo thing, I don't know how that's going to help me. I don't know how I'm going to justify buying one of those little robots and affixing a hammer to it. But there, I'm I'm going to find a way.
Well, what's funny is those robots. Okay, let's talk about the Neo. I
All right.
love that. I think the Neo is one. I think the Neo is adorable, right?
Of course.
It's like the design on that is great, right? Like
Yeah.
they took a humanoid robot and they actually made him non-threatening. Like I'd want to hang out with a Neo.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna have a robot, like look, he looks like he's made out of cotton. Like he's like, like it's just like, oh, he's warm and fuzzy.
We've got all these movies with all the robots are rising. Here we go. All right. The most non-threatening looking
Flannel wearing,
adorable
yeah, robot. But if you
and I'm going to give it a hammer.
if you read about it, okay, I'm getting back to your hammer thing here though,
Okay.
because if you read about it right now, the robot is not actually a robot. It is somebody controlling it, like wearing a meta, looking through the eyes and controlling it at this point. It's like somebody in India or the Philippines is actually like your remote servant.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you read the fine print, that's what they're doing. Is they're having someone control this robot. So
I hope
is
people realize that.
yeah, right? Like, you have this person like walking around your house and, seeing you in your underwear because you're thinking that it's a
Hopefully.
hopefully, yeah. Um, y- yeah, I can't imagine like how they pitch this like in the third world country of like we're gonna have you put on this headset and walk around this rich person's house and vacuum for them. But like you in construction, right? Is ICE gonna show up and start throwing the robots in the back of the van
Super.
because they're like Guatemalans with headsets that are now got hammers
Yeah, yeah. See, the Guatemalans, as long as they're in Guatemala, it's okay.
with an Oculus on
Yeah, exactly.
and hammering away.
And really, a lot of them could probably have 2 or 3 on at the same time.
That is true.
Productivity is going to go up.
Productivity. It's a weird world with that. Yeah. And I was seeing someone posted something about a hotel did the same thing, similar, like the idea, like they've got somebody in India with their check-in disc, and it's just a big screen now and checking people in, and it's like these remote jobs.
That was the bank, one of the banks for me the other day. Went in to make a payment, and there's a kiosk. I'm like, oh, I'm not quite 50, but I'm up there, and I'm like, wait, I don't give this to a person. Nope, you just hit the button, and I'm of course you see the age, so I still ended up with a person coming. No, 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 I'm sorry. There was get help. And then a person showed up and they've got a headset and I have no idea where they were. And they're just like, oh, you just do press these buttons. And I could have done it all on my own, but no, it just, yeah, there's the remote work thing is really neat.
It's and it's more like acceptable when you know that it's a person. It's when they try to make it seem like it's technology.
It's not going to take long where we're not going to know the difference.
We're not going to know the difference, but it does crack me up because there was a couple early on AI companies, and it turned out that it wasn't AI at all. It was just like 40 people in the Philippines answering your questions. And
I read about that. It just cracked me up.
yeah, but it's it is interesting, I think, in the political climate right now, right? Because, not straying into politics at all, but there's definitely this sentiment, on about like American jobs and some of these things, and deporting people, and I imagine that's a huge topic in your industry, in construction.
So
Not specifically
re
you, but I mean just like the industry itself is impacted.
remodeling and new construction are pretty separate, and I think that's going to hit new construction
More.
a lot more. Um, like
But it,
with our business with remodeling, we're in somebody's house,
sure.
so we're a lot more careful about who we bring in.
Yeah,
Um, we use smaller companies.
right.
We use a lot of it is people we've known for a really long time. Um, with our business, we actually can't use illegals the way our business is set up. Um,
Well,
and
and
not just the
yeah,
legal, not just the legal. Oh, you got to find a way around. They're not going to be on our site, so it's
right.
that really isn't going to affect us specifically. But yeah, as it affects the new construction,
And
yeah, I
and
don't know
and
what
I,
it's
and
going
I,
to do.
and I don't mean this in a like to go down a political hot topic here, but
But
I do think it's interesting. Right now, the focus is on people from other countries taking jobs, right? But if the symptom is going to be the exact same when automations with some of these AI systems, and they talk about that, like right now AI is just in the informational space. And I love because you'll see people who make like TikToks, and they're like, no one's replacing me welding a beam in the rain, or no one's replacing me running wires, or no one's replacing me
have,
doing
have you ever seen a car get built?
right.
Robots have been doing that a long time.
And that's what I mean. Like, there's going to be automation that's going to impact these real world jobs, you could say,
Yeah.
blue collar is going to get automated. Just like, I think a lot of people in blue collar jobs are like, I'm safe from where technology is heading because I'm
No, I'm bringing Neo in.
exactly the when someone can figure out a neo to, and to run a precision of a machine, like the same precision that you get on your other machines, but to, lay tile for you. Like, why wouldn't you bring a neo in to lay tile for you versus hiring it out at that point? Um,
I don't know yet, but at some point that'll have to be involved in my sales pitch.
and maybe that will be like the sales pitch of like it's human craftsmanship versus an
Right.
automated. Like, you don't get that in an automated system versus you don't get the slightly crooked tile in the corner with a robot. This will prove that a human laid your.
Right.
I'm gonna make some sloppy mistakes so you can show off your human.
They'll have to build that into the code.
Yeah, that's what they'll do is they'll build that and they'll build that level. It's kind of like
It's
the
the slightly misspelled
yeah,
email.
exactly, the slightly misspelled email, so that makes it look like, or my favorite is the emails that are totally AI generated that say at the bottom, "Sent from my iPhone." You're like, yeah, like yeah, it's not. I'm not buying it. But I do think it's going to be interesting. Like 10 years from now, what jobs are automated by AI, robotic? Um,
And they are starting that.
yeah,
I have seen little videos of a machine that could lay a tile that could lay tiles.
yeah.
They're there. It started. It's not practical because of the setup of the machine, but it's there and they're going to make it better.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I was thinking like even Neo, right?
yeah,
So we're talking about that. And I think that's why I'm excited. Like, I realize it's somebody in Bangladesh right now,
for now.
for now, with a headset on,
But
helping train the robots, right? It's
exactly.
the
They're
first
not just
steps.
controlling it,
Yeah.
they're training it. And that's the point.
And to me, it's like where we were with 1980s cell phone, like the guy who's walking around with the battery pack and the big old, thing there, and it's like, it's cool. I got a phone I can walk with. And a lot of these initiatives are kind of in that phase. But like the area I was thinking about looking at that Neo. Can you imagine what it's going to do to the long-term care industry? Like how expensive it is if you're a person in your 90s wanting stay at home, 80s, 90s, wanting to stay at home with medical limitations and the cost associated. So us, working with marketing and insurance, we think a lot about insurance products. And to me, like one of those insurance products that has become incredibly expensive is long-term care insurance. And, for the actuaries to figure that out and to um, you know, understand how much money has to be put away for one of those products so that, when you are 70, 80s and you have a stroke and now so you can stay in your home to have somebody come in your home 24/7. But we get to that point in 10, 15 years, it's not having a person in your home, it's having the descendant of Neo who's has medical training, he has home health, he's monitoring your vitals. Like whoever the actuaries, it's got to be a really interesting thing for actuaries right now where they're trying to plan what that LTD product looks like and costs associated with it. Because you and I, if we get to the point where we're retiring and we haven't entered the Mad Max, society's all falling apart, and that trajectory of technology, like that's going to very change the cost. And I think in a lot of positive ways, like, a person who can stay in their home and just have a robot take care of them.
Yeah,
um I think it's going to be a huge impact.
I had not thought of that,
But again,
but
like
that'll be a huge benefit.
I think in the insurance industry, which we think a lot about, like,
How do they start accounting for that
yeah, like
now?
I feel like there's a sweet spot right now that LTD is gonna not LTD, I'm sorry, but long-term care, LTC insurance is gonna be hugely the cost of administering it's gonna be much lower than it is now.
And big corporations, they're really big on giving money back, especially insurance companies.
It
So it's really gonna give us savings.
Now don't get me in trouble, 'cause that's who keeps Seapoint running is the insurance companies. So
Oh, sorry.
I'm not gonna disparage the insurance industry. But again, it's so hard for them to like that's the difficulty of their industry is understanding like what the costs associated and again like they have to deal with all the tomfoolery in Washington to understand like even how to project like what's the cost of healthcare going to be next year. No one knows. And these poor insurance companies and they're getting the wrath of people when their deductibles go up, when their premiums go up. They're just trying to project where things are going.
And
um,
keep up with all the rising costs of healthcare and
right.
everything else.
So that is one of those weird things, though. Like everything is rising in costs, inflationary pressure. Medical costs are going up, drug prices are going up, politics is throwing a mess in all of this. So I guess there is that ray of sunshine that if we are looking at automation, like could automation bring costs down in some of these on some of these services later? And that's the
I think the
goal.
potential is there.
Yeah. Just like it might eventually bring the cost down for you to have someone lay your tiles when you've got your tiling robot.
Exactly.
I said the word robot a lot, and it's really funny because my wife makes fun of how I say robot. So if I'm saying it wrong, you should definitely like drag me in the comments, or maybe we can just take out a clip of me saying robot and ask TikTok if I say it weird, and then
Maybe if you practice by saying it more often,
robot,
that'll help.
robot in the distant future. In the distant future, binary solo 0011 0011 0011. Only a
Perfect.
niche group of people will get that reference. Okay, let me ask you, what AI model do you like the most?
I have never used any of them. Actually, part of my trip up here, um, this actually one within the last 2 weeks, we John and I were talking. I'm pretty sure it was last week. John and I were talking about the potential of using AI for quotes and estimates
Mm-hmm.
and kitchen designs, because obviously with a Foco cabinet company, we do a lot of kitchen designing.
Right.
And not that we can, oh, hey, we can, in 2 months, we'll be only doing AI rendered kitchens, but we do think that there is a way. And that's actually part of my homework while I'm here is to pick your brain about which one I should be using. But I am, I think, in a rare position where I don't use AI, any of the AI
You're like a weird
things.
Luddite in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Which
live
is
under a rock.
which is funny because your wife is a heavy AI user.
She is. And in most things, I am the more technology savvy person between us, but not with AI at
Huh.
all. So yeah, well, I'm
Mm,
old. You see the white.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm old too, but I I shaved my beard and got into AI to stay cool with the kids these days,
Growing into your personality.
growing into my personality. So we can't ask you what's on your AI chat.
It's blank.
What's in Bill's AI? What's Bill been looking at recently on AI that he can disclose
What
in
should I ask
public?
my brother-in-law about when he does a podcast with me?
Oh, that would have been a good thing to ask. So, oh, my chat GTP is disconnected. Let's go to Gemini because I honestly use Gemini a lot more than I use chat GTP.
It's in GPT.
GPT. I was asking it to make Conan the Barbarian movie poster image prompts
For you?
for a friend of mine.
No, I mean, are you going to be Conan?
No, it was for a friend of mine. The pictures actually came out really great. I have a friend who's going through some health stuff, so I
I'd
did
like to.
some pictures of him and his wife as Conan the Barbarian.
His wife is also Conan.
Yes. Um, I did a chat on um, trying to understand if HubSpot can use um, IP information for landing page landing page changing landing pages, smart content on landing pages by IP
Interesting.
businesses. So what I was really hoping to do is if you hit a landing page and HubSpot IP tool says, "Oh, you're visiting from Midwestern Bank," for instance, could we make it say Midwestern, like people at Midwestern Bank, just to freak people out? Turns out you can't.
Yet.
But it was a good thought.
Yet.
Yep. I was asking about the meaning of the word atonement. Um, is it legal to use corn to bait for hunting in Maine? Turns out it's not. Um, the one I really here's the one I loved.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Yes.
Maine has restrictions on how you can hunt.
Yes. It's funny because I was talking to a girl from the Carolinas recently, and she's like, "Yeah, it's my brother and I. We swap out each week, putting the corn down at our hunting blind." And I was like, "Yeah, we can't bait here in Maine." She's like, "You can't bait?" And I was like, "No, it's yeah,
Is
Maine.
it that she can't in the Carolinas or she
She
didn't
can,
check?
she can.
Oh, I
Like
see. Okay.
legally, they can't. It's just like every state has different hunting laws. Maine's not cool with you baiting deer, so instead, I just have a crabapple tree."
You just grow
Yeah.
corn?
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Is I just need to start growing corn. Um, here's the one. So again, talking about being a man of a certain age and starting to lose the understanding what the kids are up to these days, right?
Starting.
Yeah, I keep seeing memes about the number 67, and I still do not understand 67. And if it's something horribly inappropriate, I'm okay. Good. I'm glad. Because like
I didn't look it up yet. I've been seeing them also, and I was like, at some point I need to see what they're talking about.
and it's really close to another number that has a sexual reference. So I was worried.
65?
Yeah, 65.
Okay.
And so I was worried about the correlation with 65, right?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
that it was like some type of like also pervert number,
Okay.
because if everyone's all of a sudden like 67, I was like, could it be pervert stuff? So I asked
How
I
how
asked
disappointed
Gemini.
were you that it's
I
not?
said, "Can you explain the 67 meme to me?" And the answer it gave me, "I'm having a hard time fulfilling your request. Can I help you with something else instead?"
I really want them to start saying, "No, boomer."
Yeah. And then it says, and I go, "No, I just see it all over social media and I don't understand it." The thing I do love about Gemini is that it will tell you what it's thinking, which is also great because sometimes it's just like, this guy's an idiot. So I'm hoping that I can help them understand,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's,
that's the
like,
best part of
inner
it.
monologue.
The inner monologue. And then it goes, "Oh, you're not alone." It's one of those memes that's just confusing because it's not a single joke, but rather a reference to a specific rap song and the gesture that goes with it. Here's the breakdown of the core 67 meme. The 67 meme almost always refers to the song 679 by Fetty Wap. And, being a longtime listener of Fetty Wap, I should have got that right away, which was a massive hit back in 2015. So I guess I just missed that completely. And then it's like the meme isn't just about the number 67, it's about the specific way Fetty Wap says 679 in the song's chorus.
It's not. So you need to stop saying 67. It's just 67.
6-7?
That's what happens
It's just
with a
67.
man of a
It's
certain
not
age.
67. Man, that's really bet.
Start saying it as 67, not 67.
6-7 is really bet. I don't know what bet is either. Hopefully, the more I try to wade into Gen Z slang, I know I'm going to say something like that's going to cause HR to get involved, or it's going to be, this podcast will be used later. Yeah. What else have I looked about? I asked it to tell me about LLM text files, which I think is going to be interesting. I asked it for hockey jersey nicknames. I asked it for podcast help. And you can see it's gone really, really well. I said, "I'm the owner of C Point Digital, and we have a podcast." And then,
Can you describe it to
and
me?
then it said, "That's great. A podcast is a fantastic way for a digital company to build authority, share experience, expertise, and connect with your audience." And it's like, "How can I help today?" And then I didn't actually continue with it. I don't know. I got really distracted. So, yeah,
You should ask Gemini to help you focus.
Gemini could help me focus. Yes. So, yeah, that is what's in my AI. Time to get to know the team member, because I don't really know anybody that works for me well.
Which is odd since you do lots of Nepo hires.
Yeah, you would
You'd
think
think you'd know them.
you would think with the Nepo hires that I have, it's bad when it is like either Christina or Maddie are the people that are the questions about.
Oh man, I hope it is.
Oh, well, you ask me the question.
All right.
Let's find out.
So we did your chat. Now we're going to do my chat. My chat is a piece of paper.
Yes.
This is in third person, but the first part of this doesn't apply to me. I have a phobia of spiders.
Spiders.
But which team member collects them?
Oh, that was an easy one. That's Maddie.
Oh, it's a two-part question I'm seeing now.
Oh, who has the phobia?
Who has the phobia of spiders? It's not me.
So I know Maddie collects the spiders.
All right.
And phobia of spiders
just seems like it would be all females.
I was going to say,
except Maddie, obviously.
Well, I mean,
she could collect them and have a phobia of them.
I don't think that would be a case.
Okay.
I love the things that I'm afraid of.
You'd married Amanda.
That is true. Wow. Actually, you know what's really funny about Maddie's spiders? Side note on this, before I try to, as I'm stalling to figure out who has the phobia of spiders. So Maddie has a collection of spiders that she has at home.
We covered that.
Yes. And she has them in little cages, spider cages, right? And
cage what you love.
Yep. And she has them they have a finished basement. So she has them in a storage, like a wall in her finished basement. And I think it must be hilarious that the spiders that are in her basement are like,
What are
like,
you doing in jail?
yeah, like there's a little spider jail going on. And are they worried they're going to end up in spider jail if they put their web in the wrong place? Or are they like, oh, we're free range spiders? Yeah.
Do you think they crawl over the cage and just show off?
Yeah. They're like, this is what it's like outside in the world. But then they have to hunt for their own food versus, yeah,
You win some, you lose some.
you win. Yeah, instead of having flies, I guess just delivered to you, or I don't know. I don't know how
Delivered to your cage door.
I don't know how you feed a captive spider. That might be for something when we have Maddie on the podcast. Okay,
gonna say
so
that.
phobia of spiders, I'm gonna say it's Courtney.
I don't know whether or not Courtney does,
Okay,
but Courtney is not,
not
the
the
name,
person listening.
not the name listed.
I know Deb has a fear of snakes, a phobia of snakes. Maybe she just has a fear of all the things that Maddie loves. I'm gonna go Deb as number 2.
Deb may also have a phobia of spiders, but her name is not listed on this piece of paper.
Is it Christy?
Christy may also have. Hold on a second. Christy, do you have a
fear of
phobia?
Spiders?
Oh, Christy does not have a phobia. Do you have a spider jail in your basement? A wall of captive spiders? No. Okay.
Christy, what is your deepest, darkest fear that we can share on the internet?
I'll have to think about that.
It is kind of funny that we are like publicly like, would you like to know what the deepest fear of our teammates is? Clowns. It's clowns.
So you're 0 for 3. I'm told that's as many guesses as you get.
Yeah. So you'll have to tell me.
Rachel.
Oh. So you know what threw me?
And I even gave you a hint by saying female.
Well, that's pretty much everyone works here except for Tim.
And you.
Well,
And Adrian.
Well.
And wait, no. I saw Jared's name. But Jared's not
Wait,
here
let me
anymore.
back this up.
And Mark.
Let me back this up. And all the other men in the office.
And all the other men. And Dan.
Yes. But okay.
Is that 5? 6?
I guess what threw me off on this was I expected it somebody in office to be phobia, like because of Maddie rescuing the spiders from somebody else in the office, and we would have known that from Rachel's time in the office. But
We have a
I
buzzer
wasn't
where I can
thinking,
be like, "Meh, bad excuse."
yeah, should have brought the buzzer, the HR buzzer. It's too busy right now having an HR meeting with Christina. You know, all of Christina's HR violations. If Christina had an HR violation, what would Christina's HR violation be?
So what would Christina's HR violation be?
What would, yeah. She's very conscientious about time, so I know it wouldn't be stealing time. Do you think it would be stealing paper products? Pens.
from
Stealing
Georgia?
pens. Yes. She's here up here working for the week. She's probably just walking around like she's gonna go home with like 30 pens. We're gonna come in next week and we're gonna be like, all the pens and sticky notes in the office are gone. Like that was really weird. I didn't realize we were so low. How'd that happen? And you're gonna you're gonna hear like jingle 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 in the airport on the way home.
I am disappointed to say that I don't think I've had enough of an influence. I don't think she'd have an HR complaint.
She might not. I will say, not that I think of any of my employees of being HR issues.
HR bait?
Yeah.
Other than
Except this guy.
you.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm gone, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're pretty
Christina's probably going to be HR safe.
Christina's probably HR safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's probably
I'll work on my influence.
I'll say Christina's probably more going to be an HR complaint versus complainer. She's probably more likely to hit the buzzer than being why the buzzer's being hit.
Yes.
Yes. It's good to have good employees, even if they are related to me.
Yep.
So until
Nepo hiring works.
Until we do our Nepo podcast.
From the
yes.
Nepo hiring works. Brought to you from the 50-year-old white guy.
Yes. On that note, it's been great having everybody here at the free dive. Hopefully I don't get canceled.
But then you won't have to do them anymore.
Fair point. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do. Until next time.